So I had a super busy week this week, and normally with my Tuesday talks, by Sunday I kind of have an idea of what I want to talk about, and um, the day just flew by today, and it was after 4, and I was talking to my husband on the phone, and I was like, I don't even have it. I don't even know what I'm going to say tonight. I don't have any talk and or topic. And he said, well, there's your topic. And, I thought, maybe that is what my topic is. And so my topic today is like, what do you do when you don't have a direction, when you don't know what your next step is or where to go? So of course, my first thing would be to get quiet, to listen to that inner voice, to feel the connection, to not just like intellectually know that there's one presence and one power in the universe, but to really feel it, to feel your connection with the infinite. We are always connected with the presence and power that created the universe. So we have that support at every moment. So when we tune into that, when we start to listen to that voice, when we get quiet, when we slow down from our pace in order to be ready to receive that. Breath works really well, closing our eyes, taking a quiet walk in the woods. But there was another point that came up in my thinking about this topic. What would I do if I didn't have direction? And that actually came up with my husband's comment that I heard it and went, oh yeah, there it is. So the universe speaks to us all the time with ideas and with opportunities that come with all kinds of insights that just appear. So as we open ourselves to our surroundings, first of all, the people in our life that can have connection. I met a woman who's a welder recently, and I thought, oh, a welder, that way I know if I need someone that's, to have this craft available. So, we have in our lives, if we get to know those people, if we take interest in other people, we can know, how our lives might blend together. And the insights, I work with a lot of coaches, and, we can hold each other and say, okay, well, what would, try to pull out the wisdom that's already inside us. So there are people in your life that have ideas, and listening to other people's advice is great. And I'm not saying we shouldn't listen to people's advice, but I don't want you to take what other people say as this is the way I have to do things. I think I struggled a lot with that when I was teaching, that I always needed to know what somebody else had to say about something, or what should I do. So you could ask your friends, what should I do? But really listen internally to your reaction to that. So when Jim said to me, oh, what if there's your talk, I had to kind of sit with it a little bit and say, is that really right for me? It's really important to not just take advice, even if it's a professional, even if it's someone who's an authority in a subject. There is no one who knows your destiny better than you. There's no bigger authority on what you ought to be doing with your life than you. So taking advice, taking the insights other people have to say to you, or thoughts they have that kind of percolate other thoughts in your own mind, and listening to that inner voice and saying, okay, does this resonate with me? And then also looking at your environment, that you're unique in all of creation, that you carry this uniqueness wherever you go. So the universe can send you a sign that means something different to you than it would to anyone else. I have a friend who lost their son at very early. And it was super painful. And they have a relationship with yellow beetle bugs, the cars, Volkswagen Beetles. And every time they see a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, it gives them this thought of their son. And, you know, many of us can look at yellow beetles, if you don't know that story, and not think of that person. They have a totally different, maybe you got punched in the arm with a slug bug, if they were playing that. So the universe will be speaking to you personally. We'll be giving you messages personally. I got asked recently, yesterday, if I would speak at our Rotary Club on Wednesday, and I have really wanted to speak at a Rotary Club. I'm excited about it. It's one of the reasons I joined Rotary, was to kind of speak around and develop my speaking ability and connections with people. But it felt at first really fast. Like I hadn't planned it. I don't have a talk lined up. And I first texted her back saying, that's a little fast. I'd really love to do it. And can we, schedule it? And then I kind of let it sit with me. And I was like, no, this is the universe sending me a message that get on with it. This is what you want to be doing, so let's do it. And that message might not have been received that way for me, a while ago, or for someone else. It might not have been the message of let's go. It might be, hey, you can do this, and schedule it. Someone has faith in your ability or your interests or your skills, and they're asking you to do this activity. Be open-minded to it. It might have been a nudge, but for me, it was okay, let's go. So being aware of your environment and of things that are coming to you, opportunities and suggestions and articles that you find interesting, because what happens is when it's that inner voice, you're going to respond to it differently. You can read a ton of articles, but there's, one will kind of have this, oh, this is really interesting. So I invite you this week to be open. If you don't feel like you have a sense of direction or know exactly where you're going or what your next step is, to get quiet, to listen, but to also be in the world and feel your sense of connection with the universe, and realize that the presence and the power that created the universe is sending people to you, is sending ideas to you. And that if you're open to them, to receive them, that your next step will be made very obvious. So have a great week. Blessings.